I've been sitting here, thinking and pondering over that fucking mirror in the bathroom. I should have just destroyed that damn thing, although I don't know how much good it would have done. I know you guys may not understand, so let me explain. My name is Alex Antoro. I'm 45 years old and I have an 11-year-old daughter named Denise. She is everything, good and innocent in my life, and the most precious person in me. She's truly all I have left. My wife died while giving childbirth. Then, ever since, the only thing that stood between me and being 6 feet under was Denise by my side. We live in a small town just south of Seattle, something to get away from the bigger city. I moved into a new house that was and has been in my family for generations. For an 11-year-old girl, she's been very supportive and very mature for her age in terms of understanding the nature of my pain for someone so young. How in tune such a young person could be is astounding, but reminded me of her mother. Anyway, the fact of the matter that is I don't think I could ever look into that mirror again. Not after what I saw. Those things you hear about, like spirits and entities and things like that, or demons, or whatever you want to call it, it's just not all religious psychopable. I know because I have seen it with my own eyes and have felt firsthand the pain like they harbor. So a few weeks ago, Denise and I started off our evening like normal. She was doing her homework and I was in the living room on the computer on social media, and above all, it was a quiet rainy night. I knew Denise had a very wild and overactive imagination. I knew that children were sensitive between the things that are real and phantoms their mind can create and be equal as real to them. But what happened that night, no matter how much I want to believe, like whatever, or things like that, I just wanted to chalk it up to the power of the mind and its imagination. But I couldn't do that. I heard faint whispers coming from the hallway bathroom, echoing the living room, almost if something was something or somebody was talking to themselves. So what I did is I sat down my laptop and followed the faint whispers through my house to find the culprit of the voices. The voice led me to the bathroom just down the hallway of my house. I don't necessarily have a big house and it's so spacious, the acoustics can echo just about anything. What I saw next scared me a little bit, but I keep myself collected, not wanting to show my discontent and anxiety for what I have been looking at. My daughter was staring into the mirror, talking to it, as if there was someone behind it. "Hey honey, who are you talking to?" I asked softly in a calm, non-alerting voice. "Anna," she replied to me calmly. "Daddy, would mommy have hated me if she was alive today and had the chance to meet me?" she asked solemnly in a hushed tone. "Sweetheart, what would make you ask that? Your mom was the most wonderful woman I've ever known, and you are just like her. How could you ever think that? Who told you that your mom wouldn't like you if she was here to meet you today? I know she watches you from down heaven every day, asking God for a chance to be here with you. Because even though she might not have met you or been able to hold you all these years, she has but in spirit." I replied almost in tears. She muttered something under her breath. "That's not what Anna said." I was shocked and in disbelief of the conversation I was even fortunate to have with my daughter about my dead wife. "Who is Anna, that your imaginary friend? Why would you even say that? Why would she be telling you any of these stuff that are not very nice. I'm not sure how I feel about your friend. For some reasons I feel heavy, like my chest were being pushed on by a weight of a bowling ball. I what the hell of imaginary friend would tell that to my daughter? Such things making her think that if her mom was still alive, she wouldn't like her today. I tried my best not to look into that mirror again. But for a single father raising a child is only confused that she never knew a mother figure. I know that must be hard and can affect her imagination amongst other things. I know she's too young and to understand the concept and things about death. Tell Anna you have to go now, honey. It's your bedtime and you have to go to school tomorrow. Brush your teeth and head straight to bed, and I'll make you eggs and pancakes before school, alright? She looked down at the floor in disappointment and answered, okay, and did exactly what I told her and head straight to bed. Before I left the bathroom, I turned off the light and looked at the mirror, pondering the idea of her imagination conjuring an imaginary friend through the mirror as her medium of communication between her and Anna. I was laying in bed, almost haunted by what just happened tonight. I usually get up every night, to do my business, so as usual, I got up and do my nightly ritual and use the facilities. Upon entering the bathroom, I opened the door ever so slightly to find my daughter looking into the mirror and asking the mirror, why do you want me to hurt my daddy? I don't think you are very nice. I took a second to myself just watching the interaction between my daughter and her imaginary friend. As I picked my eye in the crease of the door that was half open, I saw somebody in the mirror. I heard somebody else in there talking with her through the mirror. She was an old, decrepit woman with glazed eyes and no teeth. Her fingers were skeletal and she was wearing a black dress, and her hair was freezing and gray. She looked like death incarnate. What the fuck is that in there with my daughter? Not alerting my daughter, trying to watch them closely. Why won't you just let me in? Let me in now! The voice exclaimed angrily from the mirror. I interjected and pushed my way through the door and watched the ghostly figure fade to black, and my reflection returned back to the mirror. Denise, was that Anna? What that you said you were talking about? She nodded her head. Yes, but Daddy, I don't want to play with her no more. She was telling me bad things. That I should hurt you so that me and her could play at her house. I was beyond words and floored. I didn't know what I could have said in this moment. Come on, honey. Why don't you and me call it an early night and let's go get some late night ice cream from McDonald's? I ribbed. She hastily agreed. The thought of ice cream appealed to her immediately, and before too long, we're in my car on the road headed down into town. I felt a little calmer being away from the house, but I couldn't get the image of the ghastly old woman from the mirror out of my head. I was mortified, but for the sake of my daughter, I couldn't show that. I looked up to my rearview mirror, trying to watch for the rear traffic, and in a flash I saw a face appear in the rearview mirror, a face with no eyes and no teeth grin. She opened her mouth wide, and I heard the sound of bones cracking. When I looked forward at the road, I saw her right in the front of the car. I swerved in an evasive action, colliding head-on with a guardrail on the highway, smashing my head against the steering wheel. Upon awakening, I loved next to me, and hopes that my daughter was okay. To my dismay, she was missing. She wasn't even in the car. I got out of the car and rushed and then the deeper panic, I screamed out and called for her repeatedly. I pulled out my cell phone to call 911, but there were no bars or reception where I was. God damn it. Something was very peculiar, though. I found 8 missed calls and a voicemail from my grandma in Washington. As I began running frantically looking for my daughter, I put my phone on speaker, playing back the message from her. Alex, it's your grandmother. Long time no hear, hun. I just called because I've been really worried about you. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of things in my house. You probably think I'm crazy, but I've been really worried about you since I've seen these things, and I can't really explain the full detail over the phone, but I feel like your great-grandmother's trying to reach me, and through me trying to reach you. I found a picture in my basement after doing some spring cleaning of your mom and her mom, and I guess that make it your great-grandmother. I know you really never get a chance to meet her and get to know her, but something tells me that her spirit is still with us. Just be receptive to a message if something happens around your house or see its shadow in the corner of your eye. Your great grandmother, Anna, just want to convey a message to you. I mean, after all, it was even hard to understand her when she was alive. She had no teeth, and she was partially blind. Her eyes were glazed over. She had cataracts. Anyway, I miss you, and I hope that all is well with you and Denise. See you guys this Christmas. The message ended. I stopped in my tracks. I had goosebumps travel down my spine. I ran as fast as I could back to my house, 2 miles down the road. And upon entering my house, it was cold, as if it was 30 degrees in my house. I ran back into the bathroom where all this started and looked into the mirror. I saw my daughter looking back at me through the mirror as Anna swooped her from behind her and with her skeletal-like fingers grabbing her mouth and grabbing her with other hand at the waist, pulling her through the mirror dimensions. Grandma Anna, stop it. I know it's you. I know you have something to say, but please, I'm here. Don't take my daughter. She's just a child. I cajoled in an attempt to stir her sympathies. See fade into black. Into the mirror, my reflection returned to the mirror. Okay. Give her back, you bitch. Where are you? I pleaded as loud as I possibly could. I was desperate now. I turned off all of the lights in the bathroom and lit the candle and placed it in the mirror. In the front of the mirror. I feel like I'm doing some Bloody Mary type shit. Alright, bitch. You may be my great-grandmother, but you are not taking my daughter. She appeared slowly, fading into a clear image. The image looking like rippling water across the reflection. She spoke to me. You want your little cunt back, she said in a harsh, demonic tone. Then let me in. Just let me in. I explained. I didn't know how or what she meant. She placed her hand against the mirror. Place your hand on mine. You will see through my eyes. I did what she said without thought, showing no fear to get my daughter back. I felt her hand, and it was cold and burned. Now, say come in. I replied haphazardly. Come in. I closed my eyes, and when I opened them, she stood there before me. As the clear as day, she was standing right in front of me, my daughter held by her side. "This is my house now. Get out!" She shrieked. My eyes felt like they were on fire, as if my retinas were burning from the inside. I looked around me. My head was spinning in a frenzy. I started seeing these dark figures, each one of with their own deformities, as well as creatures, animals like goats, and dark objects and people. "What's happening to me?" I yelled. "You are seeing the ones that invaded my home. Now get out!" I took my daughter, and in a blind panic rage, I carried her over my shoulder, running outside, calling my grandma, asking her to pick us up. I set my daughter on the curb as I went outside to the shed near the house. I ripped off the door off its hinges and collected my old blowtorch and gas cans and started dousing the house with the gasoline. I tore off the pieces of my black cloth shirt and soaked it as well. I lit the cloth as it erupted into flames. As I threw it to the trail of the gas that covered the surface of the surface area of my house, the house was engulfed within 10 minutes in flames. I watched my childhood home go down in flames as I marveled every ember that sparkled away from the house. I turned to my daughter, hugging her, and a huge sigh of relief, crying before my daughter and her level. She whispered to my ear, "Everything is going to be okay, Daddy. We're always gonna be together now." Her voice changed into a demonic, monstrous tone. "Forever and ever, Alex. We will play forever and ever." As I looked up, seeing a mirror before me, appearing on the door of the house was not burning, and my vision fading black to black slowly. I was trapped. Anna.